Hey guys, it's Danny. Happy New Year! I am so happy to see quote unquote all of you in 2020. What am I saying? 2022. For whatever reason, I was living in the future, far away in the future. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Hope everyone is okay. I am so excited to be making videos. I took a little bit of a break over the holidays and I missed making videos a lot. And today we're gonna start off the new year with hopefully a new series which will take the place of the Orchids in Bloom series, maybe something more engaging. Hopefully it will be a highlight series. Pretty much. We're gonna look back a little bit on the month of December. I'm gonna show you what I had in bloom, things that are worth it, things that I'm proud to show, you know. I also want to show you some updates on the projects we started, or I don't know, just things that happened in December, pretty much. So let's see if this works out. I'm hoping it will be more engaging and more interesting, or at least entertaining than the Orchids in Bloom series, which I know some of you really liked, but most of you didn't. So that's why we gave it up. But I do want to replace it with something, because obviously it's all about them blooms, baby, isn't it? Look at that. Why am I showing you this? All of these are purchased. I just purchased them. There we go. I have blooms. Blooms. Okay, so actually I will start with the orchids that I had in bloom. Before we do that, hey, give this video a like, just so I know that you enjoy the series, and it actually helps out the video, apparently. Who knows how this algorithm works, right? But just give it a like and let me know in a comment at the end of the video. Don't forget to let me know if you've enjoyed the series and the idea behind it, right? Okay, so let us start with the orchids that we had in bloom. I'm gonna run them on the screen. I'm gonna tell you the name. I'm not gonna give you care tips necessarily, because if you noticed, down below in the description of all of my recent videos and all of my popular videos, actually, I do have care tutorials. I have the beginner care tutorials. So even if I show you a Leliocattleya or Rincantlianthe or things of the sorts, just so you know, all of them take the very same care as Cattleya orchids, general Cattleya care. And I have a very good tutorial on them. I treat all of my Cattleya type orchids, including Brassivolas, in the very same way. So really there is no point in making separate tags telling you that all of them are hot growers. If one of them is not, I'm gonna be sure to let you know. I will take a few close-ups, let's say, and talk a little bit more about them, because some of these blooms require some updates sometimes, right? One thing I will mention though is fragrance, because this is something very particular to each and every orchid. It's something very, very important to me. If one day I will develop a fragrance line, don't be surprised. I have nothing in the prospect, but just so you know, I'm a fragrance freak. I love the smell of orchids, so I will be sure to mention how these orchids smell like in that tag. But other than that, care tips, they really do take the exact same care as their, let's say, general family. Let's put it like that. So if you see a complex hybrid oncidium, just so you know, it takes the very same care as any other oncidium. As you guys know, I do use the very same type of medium for all of my orchids. A little difference in ratio between sphagnum moss and bark, but other than that, they all really do take the very same care. But there are a few things that I would like to give you a little close-up on. And one of them is my beautiful Bull Lady Cincorana. Now, you guys might know I had two of these. Sadly, I lost one, but the one that I lost was a little bit more burgundy than this one. I'm left with the very, very magenta one, which I really do like. And I'm gonna get her out and show you how it looks like, not under the Barinas, which make her look very neon, but under, let's say, normal kitchen light. This one is a flower shop Cattleya, so just keep your eyes out because it's a beautiful Cattleya. I think it's worth it. Smells nice and citrusy, has a beautiful color. Bonus, some of the individuals in this hybrid are a little bit more burgundy, and I have to say I like them a little more. So if I ever see one again, I might purchase it. I saw it a few times around here in the flower shops as well. So fingers crossed. Don't miss out on this one if you love Cattleyas. I think it's very rewarding, very vigorous, and blooms multiple times a year. My little Hoka gem here had a little accident. So you see in the back here we had a new growth. Well, somehow the flower spike got stuck in the new growth and I tried to get it out, but I failed. As you can see, I broke it. And this is something that does happen a lot. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. The orchid is absolutely healthy, but sometimes some growths just have slight deformities. It doesn't mean the orchid is sick, virused, not well taken care of. It's not even about watering. It's not dehydrated. It just happens, and especially with complex hybrids. So if you ever break a spike, join the club. Cookies on the right. We all do that. Don't worry about it. It kind of sucks, don't get me wrong. How beautiful would have been to have 2 flower spikes, but no, I broke it. What can we do? Should we cry in the corner about it? No, we gotta move on to some other orchids. Here's something I'm doing with some bulbophyllums, which by the way, they're all here. They're doing great. We're gonna have a video on this one, don't you worry. Do you remember my birthday haul a couple of months ago? Yeah, some orchids arrived in these kind of shallow but pretty wide pots, and I thought they were great. But oh no, I don't have decorative pots for them. Well, IKEA actually sells these beautiful flowery shaped trays, which are perfect for these pots, which I don't even know where you can purchase. I just repotted the orchids that were in here. I don't even remember what orchids were in here, and I kept the pots. But look at that, how well they fit. And these pots don't actually need decorative containers because they're already black, so they will not be prone to having algae. If you ever order some orchids and you have these pots, they're perfect for bulbophyllums, which tend to spread. And since these bulbophyllums, these 3 are not all that big, certainly not like these guys, there was really no point in keeping them in big pots. So I put them here, and I think they will do great. Fingers crossed they will bloom this year. They were quite suffering when I got them. I think they were stuck in transport last year for a long period of time, or 2 years ago or something like that. And behind, I have another flower shop, Cattleya, which I recently repotted, but I do believe that this section, yeah, there are several sections here, I will have to cut the flower spike because it's getting very dehydrated and it cannot open its buds. So if you ever have an orchid which simply cannot open its buds and it gets dehydrated like this, definitely cut the flower spike. You're gonna give the opportunity for the new growth to create multiple new roots rather than try to open those buds, which eventually might even fail and might just yellow and fall, but the energy is spent, it's lost. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna completely remove this flower spike. In December, I also acquired this big Vanda. If you missed the video, check it down below. It, for some reason, appears a lot more blue on the viewfinder than it actually is. It's a bluish purple color, I will have to say. It passes as blue. Well, I will have to tell you guys that the bag situation is working out pretty great. I actually have to water it right now, but the roots stay moist and the orchid does not need watering for a week, an entire week now in winter. In summertime, that will change. It will probably need watering every few days, but it beats having to water every, or actually multiple times a day. How about that? So far, so good. I'm not gonna do a full update on it because it's only been like 3 weeks, a month or something like that. It needs more time. It still has the flowers it came with. When I'm gonna have the first rebloom and all of that, I'm gonna let you guys know how it worked, and especially in summer. But for now, the whole baggy thing works great. I'm happy I managed to make it work. The only problem we have, and yeah, this is no surprise, is that the baggie, look at that, it's starting to produce some algae. Can you focus? No, we're gonna have to do it manually. Look at that. So yeah, every once in a while I will have to clean up the bag really well. When I water the orchid, I'm gonna clean the bag as well. This appeared 1 week after the setup. This is how bad the algae situation is here in my climate. What to do? What can we do? We're gonna have to deal with it. Other than that, everything is going great. This month we also talked about the Lechuza self-watering pots, and sooner rather than later I will have to move this orchid from here. I am noticing some sort of discolorations on the leaves. Do you see them? Here, here, and here. I am not sure what those are, and they weren't here before. As for the roots, they keep burning. The tips keep burning, so yeah. I am definitely not going to use the pond anymore. I personally don't like it. I know some people use it with other orchids. Maybe I will give it a go with some Paphiopedilums. Once again, since they don't have aerial roots, so at the top we won't have that either efflorescence, either the actual fertilizer being there or algae. I noticed some algae as well. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try it with a Paphiopedilum, maybe with the pebble top layer. Do we remember? Oh my gosh, 4 years ago, MissOrchidGirl, pebble layer. Everybody said it was stupid. And now other people do it as well. Anyway, so yeah, pond might be given another chance, but in this setup, I really personally did not enjoy it. I think these pots would be perfect for other types of plants, not really orchids. But as far as I'm concerned, we could do better. And I actually do prefer, let me show you, I actually much more prefer the classic Lechuza pot, the Mini Deltini, which some of you know I have a lot of because I really do enjoy them. Even though, yeah, it's not orchid specific, it doesn't have any transparent parts, which is good. We don't want algae. The only thing it doesn't have is extra ventilation, but that's okay. I actually get away with it in this climate. Other than that, really, I don't see the need for the orchid pot. I prefer this one. It's tiny, inconspicuous, look at that. And the orchid we recently, in December, repotted in this pot is doing great. Look at that, it has a new growth right there. We also have a little update on my mislabeled Phalaenopsis. I told you guys this month that this one was actually supposed to be a Violacea. So as you can see on the tag, this was supposed to be a Violacea variety Malaysia crossed with Metawayensis. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this correctly. And you guys told me that the Metawayensis is now a species of its own. It's not a variety of the Violacea. I didn't know that, now I do, but also that this one does not look like the Metawayensis or the Violacea for that matter. Did I say Violacea at some point? Yeah, it's a tongue twister. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I honestly suspect that 100% this is mislabeled. It is not even a Violacea hybrid. I'll tell you why. So first off, look at the new flower. It does not look like the old flower. This one has clear, whiter edges, let's say on the sepals. This one not so much, very slight. Also, the fuzzy lip situation that some of you really enjoyed. Look at that fuzz. That is not a Violacea trait. Violacea has a pure flat, let's say, type of a lip. It might have a little bit of a mountain there. It's not pure flat, but it's not fuzzy in that regard. So this tells me Tetraspis hybrid. Now, time has passed a little bit and fragrance has developed a little bit, and drum roll please, this does not smell like a Violacea. You know what this one smells like? Its cousin, the Bellina. And you know what this means? It means this is actually a Bellina and Tetraspis cross. Mind you, this is my suspicion, not a fact obviously. It's mislabeled. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this mystery because this is something you want to have. Trust me, it smells like the Bellina, which is a bonus for those of you who know how the Bellina smells like. Oh my goodness, another one smelling like the Bellina. Oh yes, sign me up. This color is spectacular. I will make sure to film some of, or actually all of my orchids in natural sunlight, because yeah, it looks a little bit neon-y under the grow light, but even in natural light, I do believe this really nice Barbie pink color is just wonderful. It's so pleasant to look at. And the fragrance, oh my goodness. And the possibility that the flowers might actually be slightly different in between them. Do I think it's gonna have that impact that the Tetraspis has with the really different flowers? No, maybe not. But I do believe flowers have the potential to be just slightly different between them. So the coloration, the fragrance, the anticipation of, not knowing how the flower will exactly look like, and the fact that it's not a tiny flower, you're actually seeing quite well all of the details, make it a must-have. There's also a name for this hybrid. It is called a Tetrabell, which, oh my goodness, isn't it lovely? It's funny because the Gigantea and Bellina hybrid is also called Gigabell. So they kept this, type of a formula for the name, which I love. I love the name Belle, but I think we solved the mystery. And if you guys want to look it up on the internet and search for it, do go right ahead. This is the name. I love it. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you like polychilous types. It's just lovely. The color is lovely. I assure you, even in reality, it's not the Barinas that make it lovely. This month, we also talked about some new Phalaenopsis, mini Phalaenopsis, and well, I went to the flower shop again at some point and I found more new miniature Phalaenopsis, one of which I posted in a short, does indeed look like my big lip one, doesn't it? I think I found it. I think this is the original variety from which the big lip one sprouted. But look at the beauty that I found. I've never ever seen this one at the flower shop. I don't know what this one is. I love it. It's yellow and red. What a beautiful contrast. Found another Poloric one that I don't remember if I have. Maybe I do. Mine are not blooming just yet. We're gonna see about it, but I just cannot get enough miniatures, to be honest. And by the way, speaking about miniatures, this is the big lip one that I told you about. Well, this one is in bloom and is so advanced compared to the others, which are kind of like this now, maybe even smaller flower spikes. The thing is, do you guys remember? I even mentioned it in a video. In September, we had a freak cold spell. It rained in September, which here it doesn't really happen. It rained and a few nights we had temperatures of about 20 degrees Celsius or 21. Well, it was enough for this one to produce a flower spike. It's the only one that produced a flower spike then, which statistically speaking, yeah, it can happen. The more miniature Phalaenopsis or phals you have, the more you will see they are a little bit different between them. And what works for one when it comes to temperatures and the temperature drop will not work for the vast majority. Hence why I always say in my tutorials, give them 17 degrees Celsius. You're gonna have the equivalent of Fahrenheit on the screen, not 20. Because yeah, okay, one or two or however many will be induced by 20 degrees, but most of them won't. So we wanna have all of them spike, right? Well, so this one was induced in spiking. And again, one of you very, very attentive people noticed that there is another flower spike here. Oh, there we go. Here it is. Hopefully it's not gonna grow at a weird angle. But yeah, this one sprouted now when it was actually supposed to sprout when I have my natural temperature drop. So if you didn't know this, Phalaenopsis, mini phals, whatever phal you are dealing with, except for polychilous, let's treat them as a totally different thing. So everybody else, the typical Phalaenopsis, can actually produce 2 flower spikes at different times. Depends when you give them that cold spell, for how long. If you give it like twice, it can happen. If you have a longer winter, it can happen. A second flower spike, primary one, can develop just because of the temperature, which this one displays. It's not always going to happen. Again, it's a statistic. The more Phalaenopsis you have, the more things will happen. If you have 3, maybe this will not happen. But if you have 30, maybe 1 or 2 will display a late primary bloom at some point. Okay, you guys, I was not expecting this 1st of January surprise. Okay, I have a few more orchids outside, as I told you. Not so many cattleyas, but just a few cattleyas which are very bushy, and I just wanted to wait until I divided them to get them in to properly spray them. Although some of my cattleyas are clean, some are not. I think this one had some thrips. Anyway, she was outside, and look what I just discovered on her right now as I was exiting the greenhouse. Oh my goodness, but wait. This is how big she is. I think, yeah, she's bigger than my palm when she actually opens up fully. Ooh, yeah, I think I see some thrips there. So I'm gonna take care of her right now. I'm not gonna put her back outside. I'm gonna put her separated because I want to enjoy this flower. I wanna see how it smells like. It already smells a little bit. I'll let you guys know. This is, by the way, it's called the Sung Ya Green. Do you guys know, I don't even remember purchasing this one. It's been a long time, but she finally bloomed. Look at that, glorious. But yeah, I need to clean her up. By the way, before you freak out, I have very, very mild winters. It never actually freezes around here. So yeah, the orchids are actually pretty okay outside. Are they the happiest? No, these are hot growers, but obviously they can bloom. So it's okay if I keep them outside, don't worry. But Yeah, I did not know this one had a bud. What a beautiful flower. I'm gonna take care of her today. But yeah, look at that. 1st of January surprise. I'm actually filming this on the 1st of January. Not sure when I'm gonna upload it, but yeah, look at that. Beautiful. And speaking about the new files, some of you gave me the ID for this one, so I'll put it on the screen right now. I'm happy to have an ID for this gorgeous, gorgeous girl. She is a big Phalaenopsis. I wish she was a miniature, but yeah, I think I can allocate a little bit of space for her because she's just so pretty. So there you go, we have a name for it. You can try to search for it at your local flower shops or garden centers and hopefully you can find it. As for future plans, you might notice the Biorb, empty. In another aquarium here, empty. Well, it's a terrarium, it has a lid. I'm transforming it in a or2A terrarium. Plans for the future, maybe this month, I'm gonna make sure that these terrariums are ready because boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I might have some new pets, but of the insect type. Beautiful, beautiful pets. Yeah, many of you will say, oh yeah, mantises, right? Yes, right, of course mantises, not cockroaches. I'm not a fan, although they can be pretty as well. I know people who do like those big, I think they're called African cockroaches. I can see that. Not for me, not for me. I like mantises. I kind of enjoy spiders too. And recently I did see a tarantula up close and it was a little scary but cute at the same time, very weird feeling. I digress. I like mantises and I think I'm gonna have some praying mantises. Maybe of the orchid kind, I don't know. Depends what I find, you know, I'm not gonna do anything weird. If it's available, if it's bred in captivity and all of that, I'm gonna get it. If not, not. Whatever praying mantis that is not obtained from the wild, I will get. That's what I'm gonna grow. But I'm really hoping that I will have some nice praying mantises soon in my little terrariums. And yes, I know usually praying mantises are kept in smaller terrariums because they're easier to feed, but it's okay. You can actually keep them in bigger ones. I did it in the past as well. I'm not gonna have a whole bunch of them. If I have one, I'm gonna be happy, you know. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed these highlights. I'm gonna try to perfect them. But yeah, I just wanted to get through some orchids that have bloomed and some plants and some updates and yeah, things of the sorts. I think it's a little bit more engaging than seeing flowered orchids all the time, right? And also do remember that you have orchid tutorials down below in the description. Very easy to follow, beginner, very elaborate. It's not TikToks. I don't do TikTok style 30 seconds videos. No, I need to blab, you guys know. But it's very elaborate. So do check it out. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a super awesome new year, healthy and full of joy and luck. If you're interested in particular subjects, just type it in the search bar, MissOrchidGirl, followed by the topic you want to learn about, and you'll find something. And with that said, I hope you have a great time. I'll see you next time. Bye.